Good morning, and welcome to Bumblebee Junction.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be making Christmas fudge, but I want to show you something. We're going to do it just a little bit different this year. Yeah. This is a cast iron mold that Mark bought me, and I'm so excited. I've never actually made fudge with mold before, so yeah. You can see there's, probably should scoot back here just a little bit. There's the ribbon, and all the way around is the holly. Yeah, I'm so excited. I've never quite done it this way, so I'm gonna have a whole lot of fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 different kinds of fudge that I would like to make. We're gonna do it in this mold. Yeah, how cool is that? Yeah. Alright, so it's gonna be a long day. Got a lot to do. Gonna go ahead and get to it. Okay, we're gonna start with the basic fudge recipe. I have 7 ounces of marshmallow cream, 1 1/2 cups of sugar, 2/3 of a cup of evaporated milk, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 cups of milk chocolate chips, 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And what we're going to start off with is, if I can get this open, probably should open this before I got started, but we're going to go ahead and get this out. Yeah, it's super sticky, so you know it's going to be messy, which makes it an absolutely perfect recipe. And I have used this recipe for many, many, many years. And those of you who have followed the channel have seen this a few times. But we do have a new kind of, I don't know how to say it, a new twist on it this year, because I'm going to put it in a different pan. Yes, I did just lick my finger. But we're going to start off by putting the marshmallow cream and the sugar. And 2/3 of a cup of evaporated milk. A 1/2 stick of butter. And our 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to set this onto medium, and I'm going to bring this up to a boil, which will take just a few minutes. You want it to come to a full boil. Get this stirred in here really good. But I'm going to let this come up to a boil, and then I'll be right back. Okay, one thing that I did forget to mention is while this is coming to a boil, you want to stir it consistently, constantly. You want the butter to get nice and melted. Get everything blended really well. I do tend to get a little ahead of myself because I've done this so many times over, I don't know, probably the last almost 30 years. But as everything melts, you want to keep stirring it, get it blended really, really well. Probably won't put every second of this on camera, but I will be back when we get this all blended up really well, and we'll get to the next step, so hold on. Okay, I have everything melted and blended, and what I want to do now is bring this to a full rolling boil, and that is a boil that when you stir it, it doesn't stop. And that does take a few minutes, but once we get that to a full rolling boil, we want to keep it there for 5 minutes. So probably what I'm going to do is take and put a little break in here. Once this starts boiling, I will come back in and put in a clip that Mark can speed through a little bit so you can see it at a full rolling boil for 5 minutes, but sped up just a little bit. But you can see how rich and creamy that is. And if you're like me and you want a little taste, yeah, that is so sweet and so good. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring this up to a boil. And when it comes to a boil, I'll put a clip in here to show you for a few minutes. And I'll be right back. Okay, we are now at a full rolling boil. I'm going to go ahead and set the timer for 5 minutes. And I'll be right back to show you what to do next. Okay, we are boiling quite crazily here, and the timer is going to go off in just a few seconds. I'll show you what that looks like. Two, one. Okay, now I'm going to take it off the heat. Shut the burner off. I'm going to pour in my milk chocolate chips, my semi-sweet chips, and I'm going to stir this. And it does take a second to get all of that melted. You kind of want to do it quick, but I have that all stirred up. And these wonderful no-stick pans make it really easy. But I got all of that, and I'm going to go ahead now that I have that stirred, and I'm going to put in the vanilla. Get that stirred in real quick. Now, I do have my mold sitting here, and I did have it in the fridge for a few minutes. And I've actually never made this in a mold before, so we're going to have a little fun. Go ahead. Get this dipped in here. Not exactly sure how many I can get. I'll try to do as many of them as I can. Probably get this a little closer up here on camera. Looks like I will definitely be able to get all of these little compartments. Probably should shake these down in here a little bit. Did spill a tiny bit there on the burner. Keep in mind I've never done it in mold before. So I'm going to shake these down. I'm going to get them in the fridge really quick. Okay, so that was really, really exciting. I did have to use my little piggy spatula and press them in just a little bit to make sure that I got all the edges. But I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get this put into the fridge for at least an hour. But there you go. They're all pressed down in there. And I can't wait to see how these come out. So I'm going to put them in the fridge for a little while to cool. And I'm sure they're just going to pop right out. So hold on and we'll be right back. Okay. That is how they came out of the mold. They look absolutely fantabulous. Now I do have to trim just a little bit around the edges, but yeah, that is so exciting. I'm so happy. That looks incredible. I'm going to get on to the next batch, and hold on, and we'll be right back. Okay, the next one that I am going to do, I'm getting set up exactly the same way that I did the original. The only thing that I'm going to add to this one is a cup of cut up, diced up walnuts. So I'm going to go ahead and get this in here and get this melted up. I'm going to do this recipe exactly the same way, but I'll bring you back when I add the chips and the walnuts. So it's going to be a few minutes. Hold on, and we'll be right back. Okay, we are just about ready for the walnut fudge. We have, there we go. Turn that off. Bring this hot pad close enough, but not too close. We're going to put 2 cups of milk chocolate chips in there, 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, and 1 cup of walnuts. So get them all out. Mix these until they are completely melted. The one thing that I love about these pans is they are absolutely non-stick. Nothing sticks to them. So, got all that mixed up, and then after it is all mixed up and heated, we're going to put in a teaspoon of vanilla. We're going to go ahead and get that mixed in. And then we have the cooled pan here. We're going to do this just the same way that we did the others, because it came out so perfect. Now, I'm not going to say that I won't make a mess. I did make a little bit of a mess on the other one. But this is the first time I've ever used a mold, and I absolutely love it. The other ones came out so perfect. So, I'm going to do this again. Now, like any other mold, you're going to get a little bit of overspill here. But it's really easy to clean up, especially on pre-seasoned cast iron. And it's really easy to push back into the mold. But yeah, this is so exciting, and gotta give a shout out to my fabulous husband who bought me these new molds. I'm gonna go ahead and get this pressed in, and we'll be right back. Okay, this next one I'm doing is peanut butter, and I've got this started exactly like I did in the original batch, except that I have, back here I have 2 cups of chocolate chips, and I have a cup of peanut butter chips. So I'm going to get this boiled up, and I'll come back just before I add these in and get them spread out in the pan. So hold on, and I'll be right back. Okay, your timer's getting ready to go off. Go ahead and get this shut off. Okay. I'm put in the 2 cups of chocolate chips, cup of peanut butter chips. I'm going to get this stirred in and melted. Put the vanilla in. That stirred in really well. Now this one I'm going to put into a foil-lined pan that I've already got ready here. Okay, now I'm going to get that into the fridge for a little while, and we'll move on to the next one. Okay, now I'm getting ready for the next one, and I've got everything in here like I did the original batch. I have 2 cups of milk chocolate chips back here, and I'm going to be doing peppermint, but I found these, and I'm going to give these a try. They smell fantastic. But these are peppermint filled baking truffles. Yeah, sounded really, really good. So I have a cup of those sitting back here. I'm going to get this heated up and get it going, and I'll be right back at the very end. So hold on. Okay, our timer is just about to go off. Go ahead and shut this off. There we go. Now I'm going to add 2 cups of milk chocolate chips and 1 cup of these wonderful baking truffles with peppermint. Get them all in here. Get this stirred up. One thing that making a lot of fudge would do, give you a little bit of exercise. I love the smell of that peppermint. Alright, got that all stirred up and melted up. Give our vanilla in here. Get that stirred in. I'm going to get that put into my foil-lined pan. Alright, time to get this next one in the fridge, and I'm going to let them sit and cool for a little while. So hold on, and I'll be right back with the next one. Okay, I'm getting ready to adjust this camera just a little bit here. Getting ready to get into the 5th batch, and I've got everything in here. I'm going to do this, like I said, with all the others. I'm going to do it exactly the same way as the basic fudge recipe. But for this one, I have 2 cups of milk chocolate chips. And I have 2 cups of these. Let me show you the bag here real quick. Now these are mint fudge flavored baking chips. You can see they look an awful lot like Andy's mints. But I did have a little bit of trouble with everything going on finding the Andy's mints. But this is what I chose for this year, and yeah, they smell really good. They look just like Andy's mints. So we're just going to kind of do the make and do with what you can find, and these are what I found, and I think they'll do a really good job. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one going, and I'll bring you back when I get it ready to be all mixed up. So hold on, and we'll be right back. Okay, timer's getting ready to go off here again. I'm going to go ahead and shut this burner off. There we go. I'm going to dump in my milk chocolate chips and my mint chips. I'm going to get this stirred up and melted. That mint smells so good. Melted up really nice. I'm going to go ahead and get the vanilla in here and stir it up. I'm going to get this one spread out into a pan. And then I'm going to get it into the refrigerator too, to cool. And this will be 5 batches. So there are only 2 more to go. So, hold on, and I'll be right back when I get started on the next one. Okay, I'm getting ready to get started on batch number 6. Now this is Mark's favorite. I have 2 cups of milk chocolate chips, 1 cup of semi-sweet chips, and 1 cup of toffee brickle. And yeah, this is Mark's favorite, and I use almost the whole bag, but gotta leave a little extra for snacking because it is his favorite. And I'm going to go ahead and get this started. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to do just the basics here. And then I'll be back in a couple of minutes when it's time to get all that mixed up. So, give me just a second and I'll be right back. Okay, our timer is getting ready to go off. I'm going to go ahead and check that. Okay, I'm going to do this one just slightly different. I put in the milk chocolate chips and the semi-sweet. I'm going to get this stirred up a bit. And now I'm going to dump the toffee in. Give that a nice quick stir. And now I'm going to put the vanilla in. Like the toffee to have a few little crunchies still in it. So I'm going to go ahead and get that dumped over here into this foil lined pan. Alright, I'm going to get that one into the fridge, and I have only 1 more left to go. Now, since this is Mark's favorite, I probably will end up making 2 of these, but won't put both of them on camera. So I'm going to get this one into the fridge, and I'm going to get set up for the next one. So hold on, and I'll be right back. Okay, get this burner turned on. Now I am working on the 7th and final batch of fudge, and this one actually, I've never used this combination before, but I really did like, I saw, I think it was on Facebook, I'm not 100% sure, but I did see a recipe for it, and I thought maybe I could alter mine to make it my way. So that's what I'm going to try to do. So I have 1 cup of cranberries, craisins, and I have a cup of this really nice Ghirardelli white chocolate chips. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get this heated up. I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did with every other recipe. Now, the recipe that I did find for this was only slightly, a little bit different than what I do, but I tend to like to get rolling and get many different types at a time. So this is just an adaptation, and we're going to go ahead and get going on it. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to do this exactly the same way as all the other batches. I'm going to go ahead and get this heated up, and just before the timer comes off, I'll be right back, and we'll go from there. So hold on. Okay, the timer is just about to go off on this one. So I'll go ahead and shut this burner off. Alright, there we are. Now, I'm going to put in 3 cups of white chocolate chips. And I know that it doesn't look like it's 3 cups, but this is a 2-cup measuring cup, and I just kind of carefully packed the top with the other cup so I could get it in here in one shot. I'm going to get this all mixed up and melted before I put the cranberries in it. Now I'm going to go ahead and dump them in. It looks very festive. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add the vanilla, but one thing to say here is this is just regular vanilla. But if you don't want to use the darker vanilla, if you can find plain clear vanilla, you can use that too. I went looking for it. I tried looking for it at a couple of different stores and couldn't find any. But it didn't change the color very much at all. So see the cranberries swimming around in there. But I'm going to go ahead and get this poured into the baking pan. And I really do like cranberries, so definitely going to have to give this a quick taste. Okay, it got pushed up into the corners. And take a quick taste. Yeah, that's really good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get this last batch in the fridge. Mix for 7 total batches. But still have a lot of work to do to get ready for Christmas. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the fridge, and I'll be back to talk to you in just a minute. Okay, so that's all the footage that I have for today. And yes, I am kind of hanging out here in the corner of the dining room because my table is a mess, my kitchen is a mess, but I had a whole lot of fun. It's a whole lot of fudge. And I still have to get it all cut up and put in the little gift boxes and stuff to get all of my Christmas packages out tomorrow. So, still have a lot of work. Gotta get to it, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump off of here. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Don't forget to ring that little bell. It'll let you know when I'm making another big mess in the kitchen. Like always, if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, anything at all on your mind, please leave them in the little box below. And if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. I know it's a little long, made a little bit more than I usually do, but yeah, hopefully we'll have a whole lot of happy people. But I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Don't forget we love you, and we'll see you in the next one.